Hello, Giselle Cooper here with the Exceptional Pleasure Bootcamp and Module 1. I want to talk you through an exercise to eliminate your negative self-talk. This is a similar process to the one you did before, yet I feel it's really important because it brings emotion into the equation. Now, acknowledging and associating a feeling with your thoughts is a great way to identify and challenge the belief. Challenging your negative self-talk is a core technique in cognitive behavioural therapy, or CBT for short. Now, this is a type of therapy that has a proven effect in a wide range of conditions and problems, and it helps you evaluate your beliefs, challenge, and then eliminate those which are not useful. Now this time you'll consider an unwanted thought, acknowledge, identify the triggers, note the associated emotions, and then gather evidence that does not support the thought. And then you'll come up with an alternative thought that counteracts the original negative one. And then you'll list its associated emotions. I want you to use the negative self-talk worksheet to record each negative thought you have about yourself for an entire day. I want you to write down how each thought made you feel. So include the trigger. So where you were or what you were doing when you had the negative thought, and then immediately challenge each thought by identifying why you thought that might not be true. So armed with this evidence, record an alternative thought. Say it aloud. And then write down how it made you feel. So I'll run through that in a little bit more detail. Okay, so in the first column we have your trigger. Now this is what prompted your negative thought in the first place. For example, maybe you noticed a typo in a paper or report which you wrote, or caught a glimpse of your reflection when you weren't looking your best. So whatever it was, think back to that exact moment the negative thought first popped into your head, and then write down whatever immediately preceded it. And then in the next column, write down the negative thought. So this might be difficult to do, but remember, we are about to challenge it. And then for the associated emotion column, you think about the emotions that arise when you say the negative thought out loud. So whether it's anger, sadness, guilt, disgust, or any other emotion entirely, write down what feelings were provoked by voicing the negative thought. And now you must think hard about the negative thought and decide how well it actually truly applies to you. Much of our negative self-talk comes from a cognitive distortion like exaggeration or all or nothing thinking or focusing only on the negative. And you'll likely find that even if there is a sliver of truth behind the negative thought, the thought is actually a truth taken to an extreme. So write this down in the evidence does not support the thought column. And I'll give you a little bit more clarification on this one. So say, for example, you may have had some disappointing feedback from your boss on a report you handed in. But if you're thinking, I'm a failure at everything, then you've fallen prey to taking a single incident and overgeneralizing. So that really is taking it from here to here. That's really taking it to an extreme. And this is quite common, so don't be ashamed if that's what you do. Instead of giving into the thought, write down all of the evidence that does not support the thought, like, okay, I've graduated from college. I have turned in several reports that my boss had no problems with. We now create an alternative thought. Now this is a very important part of the exercise, in which you reflect on the thought and then come up with a replacement one. Now this thought should be more in line with the truth, but with a positive message, such as, I made a mistake, but I will not make it again going forward. And then you have associated emotion part 2. So once you've come up with an alternative thought, say it out loud and write down how it makes you feel. The alternative thought should make you feel more positive than the original thought, even if the alternative thought acknowledges that you made a mistake or that your current situation is not ideal. So this might make you feel quite neutral, which is better than feeling upset. So this is a tried and true technique, and it'll help you recognize negative thoughts and challenge them on the spot, leading to greater self-esteem and peace within yourself. Soon you will be able to do this inside your head, and if you're diligent, you won't even need to think about it. On this positive note, let's move into focusing on the positive. Self-compassion. And we all need a little bit of self-compassion. I personally need to be way kinder on myself, and I'm sure you do too. So often we're kind to others, but really harsh on ourselves. And you may have noticed this already through the work that we've been doing. Now, I want you to think of a situation where life was difficult. So either in the past, or even you might be struggling with something now, and say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering. So that is acknowledgement. Or this hurts. Ouch, this is stressful. So once you've done that, then you need to neutralize the feeling. So you could say something like, other people feel this way, or I am not alone. We all struggle in our lives. Then I want you to place your hand on your heart. Feel the warmth and the gentle touch of your hands on your chest. Ask yourself, what do I need to hear right now to express kindness to myself? What comes up for you? What do you need to say to yourself? So some examples could be, I forgive myself, I accept myself just as I am strong, I am patient, I am kind, I am loving. You have the tools now to rewire your thoughts so you can create a fantastic, loving you in a brand new life. Remember, this is not an exam. You are here to rewire your thought patterns so you can create a fantastic life for yourself. Now, do remember, if this uncovers anything quite emotional and you need a helping hand, I am here. Either drop me a line on the Facebook page, make a comment, I read them all, or send me an email. Now go ahead, download the handouts, work through the questions, create your magic with your vision board, and share with me on the Facebook group. I will see you on the Q&A calls.